get deeper and deeper. Help your beats up. Problems that your man can't make. Call him, tell him you'll be home real late. The signal break.
Nothing I would not do. Before I let you. You make me happy. Yes, you can bet.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl J Red, and you're tuned into the Sit Down. And I have my lovely people with me, Dutchess and DJ Crash. Happy Friday, guys! How was y'all week?
My week was great. My week was real good, man. I had a couple of little parties that I did and everything. I did this graduation party, and I really enjoyed that. That was live.
Okay. How was your week?
Marvelous, as always. Positive energy, great vibes.
Yes. We live to see another week, y'all. Okay, and I had a great week as well. So today we're going to be talking about stuff like the new How They See Us movie. Is it When They See Us? When They See Us. As well as the No Knock ordeal that, about 3 months ago we had our homeboy Fry pass away because one of the police shot him, and that police officer was indicted. Okay, and what else are we talking about today?
We'll also be speaking on bullying in schools because we have a lot of our children committing suicide due to, the pain that they have to go through. Also, we're going to be talking about posting your relationship issues on Facebook.
Is that all? Okay. Well, give us some blues right fast. Not blues, no, not blues. Go ahead and speed us up a little bit. DJ Crash in the building. We're talking about the movie When They See Us. 5 individuals who were accused of rape, went to trial and everything, had to do their sentences, convicted. After a while, after they served like 12 years, he should be on the show, 12 years, they were released for some new evidence. It's a lot of people that's locked up for stuff that they didn't do. When I was locked up, it was a lot of girls in there. But you got the people that say they didn't do it, but they did it for real. But it's really some people who didn't do it, And this happened in '89. The actual story happened in '89. And, stuff like that been going on, it been going on. Especially in the, the little country towns and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And, the lady that got raped, she didn't even remember. But it was prosecutors who was like trying to pin it on the black guys, And they did their time for it. Okay, they're out now. They've been out since 2015 or 17, one of them. But they got, 41 million for all of them though. Like they have to split that 41 million. That's not enough. I don't think that's enough because these people, I know they're dealing with trauma, depression, PTSD, all that. That it's not enough money in the world for your sanity. You know what I'm saying? One of them really got brutally beat up while he was in there. It's just stuff like that. You can't even put no price on that. How do you feel about that, Dutchess?
I definitely agree, Queen. You cannot put a price tag on your life. and they've missed years, whether it's, raising their children or being with their loved ones, holidays. So at the end of the day, I think that we need to take a deeper look at this, and we need to get to the root of it and find a solution. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be easy, but we definitely need to show our kings much love, and we need to appreciate them walking every day with a target on their back. So if you know anyone who has been convicted, this innocent man, show them some love, like indeed, and make sure you stick by them, do whatever it takes to help get them through life, because a lot of people who go to prison, they don't come back the same way that they went in, because you have to adapt to your surroundings. So although they went in innocent, there's a lot of guilt hanging on to them. So make sure you love on your kings, your princes, let them know that we're here for them, indeed.
You have anything to say about that, Crash?
It's actually funny that you said it about the people that's been convicted and they weren't actually guilty. Because when I was incarcerated, I actually helped a couple of the inmates that was in there get freed from their charges. They don't really, I guess back in the day they didn't have a really, really good criminal conviction system.
Right.
So a lot of people got convicted in those times that weren't actually guilty.
Right. It happens often, and then, I don't know if you was about to say this, but a lot of the instances is because people don't read. They don't read, or they don't know the law like that, or they don't have nobody on the outside working for them, or something like that, or they don't have the money. It always happens like that. But I'm glad that they're out, and I don't know too much about it. Like I say, I was in and out of the movie, but I do know that one of the guys has an actual organization to help inmates that are in there and not, in there, for the right reason or wrong reason, So what's our next subject? Bullying. You want to start with this one?
We just want to touch base on bullying. We have a lot of our children in the school system that are going through a lot. Sometimes we look at children and say, oh, you can't be stressed, you can't be depressed, but children these days, they're growing up in a world that we didn't have to grow up in. Everything is posted on Facebook. If you got issues with somebody, everybody goes to social media, and it's really tearing our children down. So make sure you speak to your children about, things that their friends or enemies may say about them to keep their head afloat. One thing that I stand firm on is if you have children, love them so much to where when the world doesn't, it won't matter. Because we have children taking their lives because their feelings are so hurt, because they're being degraded and demeaned in a way that, it cannot be uplifted because nobody's taking notice. They go to the teacher, they go to the principal, everybody's brushing it off. Some people live by, no snitch rule, no tattletelling, suck it up, do whatever, I have a lot of god babies. I love children, so I always tell them, I don't care who it is, say something to somebody that you can trust. Because at the end of the day, when they're behind closed doors and they're crying and they're hurt and they're broke and they feel like taking their life is the only thing that'll make the situation better, it gets dark in that hole. So y'all make sure you love on your children. And if you have a child who is bullying somebody, baby, get them. Because if they run across an individual like me, I don't believe in too much violence, but hey, sometimes just stop. Don't do that. It doesn't work. I will get a switch off the tree and I will tear your child up. And you can line up behind them, because there's no need for children to be doing this to each other. We see it all the time. It was just the other day, this little boy, 14 years old, hung himself because of the abuse he was going through in school. It makes no sense. Be an example. If you're a parent, stop beefing on Facebook. Stop fighting in front of your children. Stop doing things that you know is not right. Because once you know better, you definitely have to do better.
Okay, and we'll be right back with the sit down.
Tell me who she gon' check. Courtesy, Cardi made a mess. Fuck, guess who, bitch? Fuck, guess who, bitch? Press. Cardi don't need more press. Kill them all, put them hoes to rest. Walk in, bulletproof vest. Please tell me who she gon' check. Courtesy, Cardi made a mess. Fuck, guess who, bitch? Fuck, guess who, bitch?
girl J Red, and you're back with the sit down, and I'm chilling with DJ Crash and Dutchess. And we were talking about bullying, and did you sum it up pretty much? But I do have, like, I was one of the kids that was bullied in school. And still to this day, it bothers me. I'm not gonna lie, people be telling me I need to get over it, but it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And fortunate, I have suicide that has ran in my family. For my dad committed suicide. That's not an option for me. But at the same time, you be so low in yourself when you feel like everybody's against you. You know, people don't like you for certain reasons and stuff like that. And it really hurts. And still to this day, so she's right. When it comes to your kids and you think that they're being bullied, go talk to somebody. Go talk to them schools. Make them pay attention. Make them listen. Because I'm telling you, I'm 40 years old and it still bothers me to the day. Like, you know, I just go, sometimes I be thinking about school days and it just pops back up. It's a never-ending thing with that. Like, bullying scars you emotionally, and emotionally is the worst kind of hurt. You know what I'm saying? Physical, that goes away. You can cocoa butter that. But when it's emotional, it hurts bad. But yeah, so stop the bullying, stop the bullying. So next we're gonna talk about the no-knock. Did you want to talk about bullying first one? Did you want to talk about bullying?
I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but I don't got too much sympathy on bullying. You know, people that bully people, they need their ass kicked.
Straight up.
Now, I will add this to that. Working with a lot of troubled youth, one thing that I've learned is a lot of children who are bullies, it's because they're getting abused at home. That's what they see. So then they can't let that anger out towards their abuser, so they go to school or wherever they go, they pick fights trying to release that energy.
Or they got something going on with inside
Right,
them.
within themselves,
It might
you
not
know.
be the,
So,
it might be something going on with them
Right.
that makes them act out.
so if you do see anybody bullying or being bullied, do your best to try to pull them aside. Be the bigger person. Try to be understanding and compassionate. Now, there are some people who just like to do it, so if you're that kind of person, be careful who you run up on in real life.
In real life. Okay, so next we're talking about the no-knock. The no-knock warrants that have been going on in the past couple of years. The first year that we really paid attention to it was when they ran up in the guy's house and he shot the officer, and he's still in jail for that. He haven't went to trial for that. Recently, in the last 6 months, it's been recent, about 3 months ago, we lost Fry. They had a no-knock on him. They started shooting. I mean, it's plenty of stories out there how it went down. But the Texas Rangers took it over. Instead of Colleen handling their own case, Texas Rangers took it over, and they found default in it. And so they indicted an officer. I guess they're calling it some kind of foul play that happened. So that's a good thing, you know what I'm saying? And his family, Fry's family, got people behind them. That's all I'm gonna say. And they had their news press today, and everybody was out there, you know, giving the support because they're gonna do something about it. They're not gonna stop until it's done. But the good thing about it, like I say, the man, he resigned from the police department and they indicted him. So that's a step, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good step, man. These officers, they really need to be held accountable for the things that they do. My father was a police officer, so I don't have anything against officers, although I have had hard times with police officers when I shouldn't have. But yeah, I think they should be held to a higher standard than the actual people because they're being trained, the laws and the ways to handle everybody. And the officers that come into the areas that are scared of the people in the neighborhoods, they shouldn't be those types of officers. They shouldn't be officers. I was back in the days when they had officers that were officers because they was proud of the oath that they took, you know. And that's why I was proud of my dad for being a police officer. And I know there's still officers out there that are officers, just like there are teachers out there for the right reasons. But there are also ones out there that's not for the right reasons, and we gotta beware of those. So yeah, I think they should be held accountable for everything they do that's not right.
And you brought up something else. The younger officers that are coming out. When they come out and they straight out of a boot camp or whatever they attend, they're so scary and jittery, and you know they don't know how to handle situations. I think they need way more training, because the scary officers are the one that shoots. You know, they always got their hand on their belt, you know, on their gun, and they ready because they so jittery and scary. They should give them way more training, because you know the officers have way more. The older officers, they're more, what's it called? You know, trained. You know, and they handle situations. They handle situations more better. There are good cops out here. We're not sitting here bashing no cops, but you know, they need more training.
And I'll just add this. I came up in a criminal justice background. Both of my parents worked for the prison and juvenile. So when I went to college, that was actually what I majored in, criminal justice. And I had a teacher. She was actually a detective. And I used to sit and talk to her because I wanted to know a lot. And she told me a few things. She said, please understand that when police officers walk outside, they automatically feel like they have a target on their back. So they have to be aggressive in certain situations, most situations. But I will say this, at the end of the day, support your people. The system is broken. I don't care if it has 100 good cops. That may be opposed to 1,000 bad ones. And in order for us to make this system work for us, when it was not created for us, we have to stand together. So putting on a t-shirt, saying RIP, putting flowers on a headstone, you know, making a rap song in a booth is not enough. Stick with your people. Teach them. Learn while you're teaching. Teach our daughters and our sons. And make sure that when you move loudly. That's not the time to move in silence. Because if you move in silence, we'll never get anywhere. I'm not saying, you know, go out and riot, but make your voice heard. Understand that that pain is not going to go away. There's not enough money in life to exchange for another life, a loved one. So y'all make sure you do what you have to do, come together as a community, link up with people, good-hearted people, good minds, appreciate the good cops, but at the same time, always remember, we got a target on our back too.
You have a, good quote there. We have a target on our back, but I do want to give a shout out to Dana Smith for the event that she threw this past Wednesday for the homeless. And give her a round of applause because it was a beautiful event. Dutchess performed, I performed, L. Menace. There was people there, you know, singing songs that are already out, Cherie. And it turned out really well. And, you know, it was a statement made before the show, and they were saying how, you know, why are we wasting our time? It's not going to do anything. We have to stop that mentality, because when you doubt something, other people are going to doubt it too. If everybody be like, we can do it, no matter if we can do it or not. If you have the mentality that we can do it, it's going to be achieved. But when you are sitting here doubting the situation and be like, it can't be done, then guess what? It ain't going to be done. So we need to stop that. You know, the people that were out there, I'm so proud of them. I didn't know everybody, but I did know a lot of them. I'm so proud of everybody just taking a stand for it. On the other hand, I've been seeing the police mess with the homeless people since they've been out of their little residence. Yeah, it's terrible, but we're gonna take a break. You're tuned into the sit down. We'll be right back.
Blaze on the beat.
You was doing your Cold cash, big lips, racked up, no shook. Gotta get it by myself. Push to nothing left. In the car, take a left. Stop with me to an X-car to a bar. Turn up, party hard, lead boy, count it up. Gotta keep it here to tuck, 007 shit. Bartend, let me hit Trump, be hard on it. I don't need no help, I don't do no fun. Bad chick, fake ass, can't get my cash. I'm being so real, I don't want a big deal. In my hood, on the block, this is not a big deal. Tryna keep the family fed, need an extra slice of bread. Ain't for a head to head, I don't wanna have to kill. Why you wanna take from me? Go and get your own meal. Youngin' on my own clip, we gon' hit 1,000 licks. Smoking up screw lit, stealing my money, bitch. Free YG, lil QT Villa. Man, big guts from a clear up picture. I do rap and talk, I don't really rap killer. Might not wanna beef, I ain't known to get with ya. On the next level, we run the mess up. Don't sleep much, I'm planning to put. Money work, so I heard we up. Rock the stage and count them bucks. I heard you was doing your thing. I hope that you stacking your change. You just boarded a flight on the plane. You ain't the only one, no. We filming it all, we high. Done made it up to the top. It really have ran the block. You ain't the only one, no. You not 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 the only one.
Ain't no hate in my blood, homie, I see you on. But ain't nothing like a female holding it down on her own. Paper stack, got my mind right, you can see that I'm in my own zone. And I don't wrong, therefore people, they leave me alone. Always been a hustler, I always had a mind of a G. And I know they might hate, but in the back of their mind, they're respecting me. And I ain't gotta boast about what I got, cause I know you see. Got my swimsuit and my surfboard, who got the weight of me. And I know they gon' shine, go ahead and shine. It was written for us to be kings and queens way before time. I just want a piece, give me that, it's all mine. And when my homies get out of jail, they gon' fall in line, damn right. I hear the street saying your name, but you know I'm doing my thing. Respect me, respect you the same.
You ain't the only one, no.
Long as you doing your thing, then to me you can't say a thing. And I'ma just swing in my lane.
You ain't the only one, no.
You not the only one on. You not the only one on. You not the only one on.
You ain't the only one,
You
no.
not the only one on. You not the only one on. You not the only one on.
You ain't the only one. We bout to get us a bag. We used to blowin' on gas. Why do these niggas be going outside? We got what they wishin' they had. Niggas be doing music just to do it. Give me a mic and watch what I do to it. Niggas gon' hate cause they know that we do it. Women be plotting, but I stick the music I do. I'm feeling way up, I started from ground. Heard they be liking the way that we sound. I got the skills and you hearing them now. Cuban cigars and they feel with that wow. Some of these niggas still moving them pounds. Fucking with us and you catching your round. I'm the one really love fucking around. Show me that money, I'm chasing it down. I got a bitch and I'm calling the bait. Give me that money or unlock the safe. Who is this out there be all in my face? Tell that little bitch get the fuck out the way. I'm too legit to quit the flick of the wrist. And I told my little bitch I'ma make something shake. After party now I'm back at the place. Hey. I heard you was doing your thing. I hope that you stacking your change. You just boarded a flight on the plane. You ain't the only one, no. We filming it all, we high. Done made it up to the top. It really have ran the block. You ain't the only one, no. You not 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 the only one, no.
But not to be so harsh, I said, come on, Lily. Oh, I'm sorry, I know that's so quiet. Please sit down, little man. She said, I got courage and I don't like courage. I've never been to college, but I got crazy knowledge. Over 18 and I'm like Marguerite. I wear more gold than that man on 18. Trim, slim, and I'm also light skin. Best believe more than some birds.
Welcome back. You are viewing The Sit Down. I have my co-host right here, the beautiful queen, J Red. We got Crash on the 1 and 2. So now we're going to talk about relationship issues being posted on social media. Okay. My opinion, you should never post anything that you're going through with your significant other on social media. For one, when you do that, you are opening up a window for other people to come in. And trust and believe, these other people mean no good to you or your significant other. They probably don't even really want them. They just want to intervene inside of your home. So therefore, don't go on Facebook talking about, oh, they did this today, she did that, he did this, F them, F that. Because at the end of the day, you're probably still going to be with that individual. So then you to put all your dirty laundry front and center for everybody to see. Then your DMs blowing up because you got a dude telling you what he can and can't do. He gonna give you the world when he don't even possess it. You got a female saying she gonna do this, that, and the third because your female does, and baby, trust. If she is that quick to tell you what she can do to you, she doing it to somebody else and somebody else's else. So understand, keep your relationship issues to yourself. If you feel like you cannot go to your significant other and talk to them about an issue, that's not the person you need to be with.
I feel that, and I'll pass.
Y'all know y'all got a whole bunch of friends on Facebook, but y'all got people besides your regular friends that you normally deal with on Facebook. And then you put your stuff on Facebook, and those friends that not really are your friends, but you just know them, probably from school or whatever, you just know them, but y'all really don't really mess with each other. So they see what you're talking about, and they, in the back of their head, they probably want to mess with the person that you mess with, because if you said some bad stuff about them, you probably said some good stuff about them. So they saying, oh, her man do that, or she do that for him, or whatever. Trust and believe when you put that out there, like the Valentine's Day stuff like that, they put that in the back of their head. Oh, he did that, he did that, she did that. And you say something bad about it, that's when they swoop in and say that little devilish stuff. They come in and they say, hey, you know, he ain't treating you right. I can treat you better than. I used to think that was the worst line, that if you was a player, you should never use that line. You should never ever come to no girl and say, your man ain't nothing, your man ain't this. Dogging the man, trying to slide in there. Well, he done went off of what you done said and what you know, what he done heard and everything. You done advertised everything, and now you wondering how he slid in or she slid in. He's gonna put it all out there.
Right. Our next topic, because I can talk about that all day, y'all have no idea. I see so much madness. Anywho, so our next topic, we're going to discuss how much influence does music actually have on us as well as our youth.
That's a good one.
As far as me, I will say this. I've learned by experience, the things that you put into your body, especially your brain, is what's going to come out. So, I mean, really do this. Do this as a challenge. For a whole day, listen to nothing but positive music, uplifting, about love, inspirational things, and watch how your attitude stays, I'm talking about elevated. Then, no, I won't even say, well, some of y'all do it anyway. Then take a whole day and listen to negative stuff. Killing, robbing, being a hoe, or a hoemonger, men, it goes together. And see how your disposition changes. When you're in a bad mood and you're listening to something that's gonna bring you down, that's exactly what it's gonna do. It's gonna bring you down. If you listen to hardcore rap all the time, talking about shooting people, whatever, in your mind, you just translated yourself into a gangster, and you never even lived that life. But because it is being repeated in your brain over and over again, that's now the reception that you have. Again, you know, like they say, reality is what we believe. Her reality may be different than my reality. There's two kinds of truth, absolute truth and perspective truth. So how she lives and how she feels may not be the same way I live and I feel. And when we hear music, a lot of the times, people tend, I call it taking lives. You hear somebody else's story, then all of a sudden you want to be a character in their movie. It doesn't work like that. So if you want to change something, change what you're putting inside of your body. And that doesn't just mean food. It also means the information that you're taking in. As far as our children, you know, if you're an 80s baby, 70s baby, you know, we grew up on love songs. Getting up Saturday morning, cleaning the whole house to love songs. So, you know, that's the reason why we love harder than the youth that we have now, because all they hear is females talking about sucking, ducking, tricking, you know, dudes beating their females up, being ballers, having all this money. They don't even have the money that they're talking about. They don't even have the cars that they're talking about. It's rented. It's a video. It's not reality. So change what your children listen to. Change what you listen to, and I guarantee your life will change in a positive way.
I agree with that. There are some studies that show that music affects, you know, how you handle your day-to-day life and stuff like that. And also, when criminals are being interrogated, they ask them questions. What music were you listening to? Like, I guess it really does make a difference. Like, you know, and you know, also Caucasian people, how they when they listen to rock music and stuff like that, you know, the headbanging stuff, it really comes over some people. How you feel? I know you love music, so how you feel about it?
I do love music, but just like Dutch said, it affects you. It's actually a scientific program that they started at a very, very early age to start programming the youth to believe a certain way. For example, how many people out there actually believe that the fruit that was eaten in the Bible was an apple? That program is not, it doesn't say anything about an apple in the Bible.
Nothing about an apple.
So they use them shows and they use the media, the radio and all that stuff to program you a certain way, to think a certain way, to dress a certain way. They do it demographically. That's why they take the census. They have the census out there and everybody put everything, you know, it's helpful and it's hurtful. Because they know who they want to help and they know who they want to hurt. So yeah, the music does affect you. Just like Dutch said, I used to listen to clean-up music, you know, and clean up the house every week, you know. But yeah, music affects you, takes you out there. It helped me along the way though. It can do good too.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, do we want to have it? That's enough for that one. That was our last topic. Girl, I done got confused that fast. But anyway, we're gonna do shout outs again. We already shouted out Dana Smith. Would you like to give a shout out, Crash?
I want to give a shout out to my fam. Just came in. Jerry Love and Pam Love. They walked in the door. I want to give them a shout out.
Okay.
I just want to give a shout out, you know, in general to my kings and queens. Stay uplifted, stay elevated, continue to walk the walk and talk the talk. You know, it's a lot of people, you know, going through some things. So if you have been ordained to or anointed to wear that crown, even though it gets heavy, continue to rock it. There's people who need you. Be a leader, be an example. Love on purpose, live with a purpose.
I want to give a shout out to all the lovely people in the world, and my number one, Money Works, behind the scenes, being the director that he always does. But for now, that's all. Have a blessed weekend. You're tuned in to The Sit Down with J Red, Dutchess, and DJ Crash. Catch you next week.